Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the classic crash test coming up tomorrow and patch 8.2, which will reveal itself very, very soon, and so much more as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Everybody, welcome to the show from the CTR Command Post in Sacramento, California. Today is June 18th, 2019, and it is now 7:12 in the PM Pacific Time. Thanks so much for joining us from all around the world of Warcraft and beyond. My name is Pat Krane. I'm your host, and we have one player who apparently is not too cool to join us anymore. And that is from Lanky Balls. It's Thyst. Hello, Thyst.
Too cool.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. You were away. You were off playing Blizzard games. And
I'm always playing Blizzard games.
Nah, but I mean, you were playing games with Blizzard. You know, I mean, it was different, right?
I mean, yeah, but listen, if I could have taken this show with me and done it the whole time, I would have.
And then you were at E3, so we thought. Well, I supposed or proposed that you would no longer join us because you were way too cool.
I will never be cooler than CTR. Ever.
I don't know about that.
I am very lucky to be here. I've got you duped so hard.
That's probably true. That is true. All right.
It is true.
Well, welcome, Thyst. Welcome back from your long away.
Yes.
And I want to talk to you more about that.
All right.
Just quickly. Yeah, I'm going to let me fade out the music here. I'm going to forcefully fade out the music.
Yeah,
because,
force it.
I mean,
just jiggle it a little.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You just have to do that every once in a while.
Just a little wiggle.
Oh, that was too much of a wiggle. All right.
No, put it back in.
So I want to talk to you about the MDI because, I mean, we've been talking about this for the last, since just before you left. And we haven't stopped really because it's something cool that you were able to do, and it's really exciting for me to see somebody from CTR go off and do wonderful things and do something kind of on a bigger platform. And this was definitely a large platform that you were able to.
That's like exactly how I felt when you were on stage at BlizzCon. I was so proud. God,
it's fun when you can do stuff like that. Do something new and break out of your old patterns and all that kind of stuff. And so how was it? What was the backstage action? Was there a lot of was there a lot of drama? Was there fisticuffs? Was there somebody spiking the punch bowl in the back? What was going on?
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
There was a player room where the players would watch the games, and then if the two teams were going up next, they would practice on PCs. And then there was a room for the casters and the crew to work at a table. And sometimes they brought us catering.
Wow.
And that was nice. And then in the actual studio room, there were really nice couches to sit on. And in the control room, there was a lot of computers with wires, and I was very afraid to touch anything. Wow. And then actually backstage, there was, a nice sort of little walkway with people, stage managers and such helping you out.
All right. How was Sydney? What was that like? I mean, I know you didn't get a lot of time to really hang out there too much and see a lot of sights or anything like that. But what did you think about the Sydney in general?
It was really gorgeous. At one point, me and some of the casters and a few players went to the Sydney Opera House at night, and there was this really cool light show thing going on. and it was gorgeous, and the city was really beautiful, and everybody I met who lived in Sydney, especially the ESL people, were fantastically kind and enthusiastic and friendly.
They are friendly people over in Australia.
They really are.
They really are.
If Canadians are very polite, Australians are very friendly. And I felt like I made so many friends, and everybody was very approachable, which was great because, I needed everybody's help all of the time. So, but yeah.
Well, it's something new for you. So, of course. How many times did you hear the phrase, good on ya, mate?
Not at all.
No? Not at all?
No.
Oh,
no,
man.
not at all. Not really.
You apparently were not with the people.
Not really. I was mostly just working, but okay. And like hanging out with the casters, who are all excellent in person, by the way.
Well, of course they are. We know them well. We collectively know them through the MDI and through other streaming stuff and whatever. But yes, they are very nice and personable for the most part, I think.
Of course, and they all made me feel very welcome. So
that's good.
Everybody did.
That's good. How was the work itself? Did you find it challenging? Did you, obviously there was probably more work behind the scenes that we couldn't see than what we saw on camera, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like a lot?
Yeah. Okay. More work than I anticipated. Honestly, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Like, obviously, I knew that I would have to go up on stage and interview people. I did know that I would have to find some, color commentary about the players. But, I was doing all of that, exclusively. I did have some help sometimes, but it was up to me to gather information about all of the teams and, sort of suss out what was actually interesting and important, and then write it all down in a way that, was easily said on stage. And then I had to, come up with questions. And a lot of time I would be running back and forth from the players lounge, talking to the players, to running in front of a TV or on stage to figure out what the matches were, looking like. And sometimes I'd have to predict who was going to win so I could pick who I wanted to interview in 5 minutes. It was very challenging, but it was without a doubt the most fun thing I've ever done ever.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. That's pretty good. But I think the burning question that everybody really wants to know is, when you were there, did you get a chance to actually play WoW and get your Heart of Azeroth all the way up to level 50?
No, not at all. I think I saw one.
That's
entire
the burning question that everybody has in their mind is, were you able to get your Heart of Azeroth up to level 50?
No, right. No, I'm so very behind in WoW for the first time in my life. And it's weird, but the only thing that would take me away from WoW is WoW.
Is more WoW.
Yeah, so right. I think it's okay.
More and different WoW.
Yeah.
That's what Classic has been for me. It's been kind of taking me away a little bit, and it's been fun. I think for Classic, I've finally decided on the class that I want to play.
Oh?
Yeah. Have you decided on the class that you want to play for Classic?
No.
No? I know that you were playing a Tauren Warrior.
Yes, but only because that was my first character ever.
Sure.
And I just wanted, maybe I'll go Hunter, because that was my first main, like when I put really a lot of time into it.
Hunter's fun.
Yes.
and especially with all of the aggro management stuff that Hunters have to do basically throughout all of leveling and throughout all of raiding and everything. Lots of aggro management, which is actually a lot of fun, and I kind of want to say that would be my second choice.
Well, what's your first choice?
My first choice, I think, is going to be a shaman.
Oh.
Only because of this. Number one, I never played shaman back when it was a thing when you had to do shaman tanking, and I'm kind of interested in that. Shaman tanking sounds like it could be very different.
Different. Good. Is good different?
Different, yes. So I think maybe doing something like that could be fun. Plus, the intro leveling and stuff like that just feels so smooth and feels so so good. So
I played a shaman back in the day, and the intro quests, like, and the quests that you go to, like, I think get your totems or something.
Yep.
I think that was the first time ever in World of Warcraft where I felt like class identity, class pride, like
sure.
I felt like I was doing something that was special just for me and my character and my class. And it really gave me a sense of, because before all that, I was just like, okay, this is my character. It looks like how I want it to look, kind of. I didn't know about transmog yet, obviously.
Right.
But it was just my character. But with the shaman thing, it's like, oh, this is what it means to be a shaman in this world.
Yep.
And this is what I would have to do. And like that's like the wheels of immersion turning, man.
It feels really good. And I know that I've talked about it before, and for all those guys that are like, oh, you're going to play shaman, that means you're going to play horde. Well, yes, and maybe also at the same time, or in conjunction with, or as a different part of myself, I will also probably grab some Alliance tune somewhere and go play on the Alliance side as well. So
you don't need to do that.
Well,
that's okay.
So the way that it's going in the talks with the officers right now is that we're kind of split on whether we want to play Horde or Alliance, and I get that. We're an Alliance guild on BFA, so be an Alliance on Classic kind of makes sense as well. But I know that other people want to see the story and experience all the experiences that Classic has to offer, and so you have to make a choice. But maybe you don't. Maybe you can play both. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but
we'll have to. Yeah, you're gonna play Horde, and that's it.
Yeah.
And especially if you're picking something like Hunter, you can play that anywhere. You're fine.
Of course.
You're fine.
Of course.
You're fine. You're fine. It's not like you're saying, "Oh man, I really want to play Paladin, but I can't play Alliance."
Yeah.
I
don't. Yeah, that's not. That's some sacrifices are worth sacrificing. Does that make sense?
Sure.
That doesn't make sense.
Nah, not really. But whatever. We'll say that it
does. That's not why I'm here, right?
For grammar?
Or to make sense? I don't know. Why am I here, Pat?
Nobody can expect you to make sense. If you've been gone for a month, it's fine.
I gave you an out. You could have been like, you know what? It's been nice, actually, this past month. So why don't you just take it easy?
So Thyst, thanks for your service. We'll talk to you later. No, of course you're back. Of course you're back. Because I'm just kind of impressed that somebody as cool as you wants to come back on the show. So that's
stop
good.
Saying that. You're making me feel weird.
Cool and aloof and
aloof. I message you like 50 times a day.
Aloof.
Patrick, answer me. I need help.
You're aloof.
I don't understand how to live.
It's fine. Let's see. So you got back. Have you been gaming at all since you got back? I mean, I know that you had to push pause on your life for a while. So I mean, you just got back this weekend.
Got back Sunday. Yeah. Went to work the next day. Then I was on Frasley's show last night. Had a freaking blast. Oh my goodness.
Very cool.
I do believe you're going to be on his show soon.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Yes. And then I went to bed and got up and went to work, and now I'm here. So no, I haven't played any games yet.
Well, there's always
from what I hear, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Well, why don't we chat about some of the stuff as we go into the news? Oh boy. And of course, where we always start is going to be World of Warcraft.
A clever strategy.
Yes. First up, a couple of things. Well, one thing that's pretty short, pretty sweet, and kind of depressing at the same time.
Oh, that's how they describe me.
I don't think so. I mean, you're not that short. Here's one thing. The mythic version of Unat, the last guy, well, the second guy of Crucible of Storms, right?
Yeah.
He has now been defeated by 100 Horde teams or more. So congratulations, Horde teams, for doing the thing. The Hall of Fame is now completed for Crucible of Storms for the Horde.
I like to consider myself a kind and reasonable person. Yeah. So I'm just going to say that I'm not going to say what I want to say.
All right. Unfortunately for the Alliance, there's kind of a long wait because at last I saw there was 80 plus slots still needed to be filled for that top 100 teams for the Alliance. I think what it is. So I think I know what it is.
What is it, Pat?
And the Alliance is going to hate me for this. I think what it is World PvP has got us a little upset. And if we can, and if we can't, I think it's gotten to the point where if it's not working out, we just feel defeated and we just kind of go up. We just say, you know what? I can get gear from the other place. I can still get the Achievos from the last place because they're still good.
Sure.
And so the Alliance just goes, you know what? God, I don't care. I just want to go away. I just want to, let's wait for 8.2. I'll get an essence that'll make it a little bit better, and then we'll come back and we'll get this thing done.
Essence makes everything better, Patrick.
Yes, of course it does.
Water is the essence of wetness or something. What was the line from?
Yes, water is the essence of wetness.
Yeah, that's every time. Like in that video with Ian today, he kept saying essences, and I'm God. Is essence of wetness, and I'm just like,
right. And I want to talk about that video, but first I need to talk about this other thing, and then we'll talk about the video because I want to kind of put this in perspective. So after last week's show, and I don't know if you heard last week's show, it's fine if you didn't.
Is it
where I was on my Paragon leveling rant again. And so this last week, actually, a couple of days after the show, and maybe because the show launched and was talking about leveling, Blizzard sent out a survey that basically said, that there's going to be a level squish, right? How do you feel about that? That type of thing. That was what the survey essentially said. And everybody went, it's number one, it's not really a surprise. And number two, what? What is this going to do? And then everybody freaked out. On the forums, of course.
Well, no, it is the forums.
I think that's what they get paid to do, is just freak out about it.
They get paid?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. But why not?
With the consistency of the freaking out, you would think that they would do it as a job.
Right. It
must take a lot of time and effort. They're probably giving up a lot of really cool hobbies and meaningful relationships to sit on the forums all day and complain.
Well, they're not.
They must be, right?
They're not that meaningful.
Yeah, probably.
But yes, considering the amount of freak out on the forums, you would think that they were getting paid. So yes, they kind of let loose that this level squish thing is going to be going down. I have since last week, when I first talked about me writing an article about Paragon leveling and what that would be, what that would look like. And no, it does not look like Diablo, for those people that were wondering from last week. I have actually created an article, and I will link it in the chat room in a moment.
It's really good, guys.
And it is, that bit.ly place?
Bitly.
Yeah, I only call it Bitly. So it's at bit.ly/Paragon leveling. If you want to read all about it, and I'm going to put it in the show notes too, but it's bit.ly/Paragon leveling. That's the short code for it. And that kind of describes the way that I see it. And if you also haven't seen it, I want to point you in the direction of Talius and Inevitel. Do a video about it this week in the reset that they do, the weekly reset. And Tally puts forth his idea for how to battle that. And it's kind of the same thing. Leveling sucks because you miss out on so much story, right? How can we make that more interesting or fulfilling for people? And what does that mean? So watch his video, read my thing, see what you think, let me know what you think. And yeah.
It's a really good article. You did really well. Your spelling and grammar is fantastic.
The spelling was right on. I had
and all
zero
the selfies
help.
you included.
I had zero help from a computer or anything.
I'm sure you did. And I don't understand why you put so many selfies on that article, but well, it's your article. If you feel like that,
right,
bring something to the table, add some zest. That's fine.
Some zest.
Yeah.
So what do you have any opinions about a level squish at all?
Not really. Honestly, I did dream of being level 1,000. I thought that would be cool. I don't know. I am also terrible at math, so I don't really understand anything. And also, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about it because the thing I enjoy most in WoW, like my play style is endgame. The game doesn't really start for me until I'm at endgame and I'm getting gearing up. Sure. And I play WoW mostly because I feel more powerful in that game than I do in the real world, and I need that to feel validated and continue living a nice, happy life. And so when I'm leveling,
everybody's got their thing. Exactly.
Right. So like leveling to me is like, oh, this feels exactly like real life. I'm just struggling and people are telling me what to do.
Sure.
And it's slow going and sure. I'm not anyway, but
so let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
Instead of leveling from 0 to 120, how would you feel about leveling from 0 to 60? And having
I've done that before.
And having it take the same amount of time as leveling from 0 to 120, because that's basically what it is.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I'll just play my mage and bypass all of that stuff anyways. So.
Exactly, which is why I'm the wrong person.
I'm just gonna go to the next 10 levels. That's it.
I can see though your point, and I would happily agree with it. It makes sense to me.
It's not bad. I just don't think it really changes anything too much.
Not really.
I mean, it's just perception, right?
Exactly. And a lot of the ways in which, we keep the gamer community happy at large is perception.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe just I'm speaking for myself. It's like I'm perceiving my life to be better if I'm OP in game.
Sure. I just want Blizzard not to worry about my biggest thing is like I don't want Blizzard to worry about any squishes anymore. They've done too many squishes. They do stat squishes. They do eye level squishes. They do. I mean, like last time they did an eye level squish because we got to level 1,000 for our gear, and it was like, hey, we reached 1,000. Now it's 100. Okay, great. That's fine too, I guess. And now we're back up to 450. Well, we're going to be back up to 450 for patch 8.2, and it's like, well, how long is this going to last? We're going to have to do another stupid eye level squish at the end of next expansion. It's crazy. So something's got to be done. And I think that while the players get that it's more of a perception thing, it really is kind of one of those things. Why are we concerning ourselves with this? We should find a different way to get the same type of. I don't know. It just seems like there's too much stuff. So
I mean,
there are too many expansions, and trying to deal with all that crap is just kind of. Whatever. There's got to be a way to fix it. That's why
this was all a lot easier back in the day.
That's why you should read my article over at bit.ly/Paragon leveling.
Hey Patrick, could you repeat that? I was yawning when you said it.
bit.ly/Paragon leveling for those guys that call it Bitly.
That was beautiful, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's a thing apparently. Anyway. That's not why I called this meeting tonight, though.
We're in a meeting? Oh, I wasn't taking notes.
That's all right. I took all the notes before the show. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine.
Why am I here then?
Well, because we are here. Because this is one of the reasons to have the show on a Tuesday.
Oh.
We're one of the first ones that get to say officially that Rise of Azshara is landing next week. It's true.
Yeah.
So Rise of Azshara is landing June 25th. I was right. Shark was right also, but more importantly, I was right. And so we got a video talking about all the highlights for 8.2 or actually with the little intro thing with Azshara herself and talking about how we're all, I don't know. We're all scum.
Fish food. We're all going to be sleeping with the fishes.
Ooh,
see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
And then we also had a video with Ian.
We did.
Talking about developer insights. Yeah. How was that for you?
I mean, it's always great to see Ian. Always. But it was interesting that I'm wondering, because usually, when this happens, they make an announcement of something that's coming, that's big. And then, a few days later, they make an announcement about a Q&A coming up.
Yeah.
And then people, gather their thoughts, send in their questions, and then they choose questions and then they answer them live. And this time it looks like, Ian just wanted to talk about it. And I'm thinking, I don't know, but maybe this is just a way to, because maybe they'll still have a Q&A next week or the week after or something, before
probably before the raid, right?
Probably, but this is good because maybe a lot of the questions that people would have asked were answered in what Ian was saying over the half hour that the video lasted, and maybe that's a more efficient way of filtering out more of the general questions and finding the more important questions that players are really concerned about, because I can't imagine they must get a lot of the same question, and it must be kind of frustrating when the question is super general and could have been answered with a quick explanation of something from a dev. So maybe
I'm guessing that we will have a Q&A before the raid or slightly thereafter.
Of course.
And it was kind of weird because they didn't do this via Twitch. They just did this via video. Kind of, it was kind of live stream style, but a little more Jeff Kaplan. You know what I mean?
Yes. Except he wasn't sitting down like Jeff does.
Right. And he was moving his hands a lot. He loves moving his hands.
He's an energetic man.
That's where his energy goes. His energy goes straight to his hands. You can tell he's a gamer because he's like, I just want to move my hands and blow up crap.
Yeah.
That's it. So that was a little strange seeing on video, but it was fine because then that way you don't have Twitch chat scrolling on the other side.
Exactly.
Because then in Twitch chat these days, what you have is you have Classic is here to stay, down with BFA, and then you have BFA is awesome, Classic should die. Just scrolling on your screen half the time.
Of course, which was something the MDI was plagued with.
Yeah.
But I feel like this patch in particular has already been talked about quite a bit. We got so much information about all this at BlizzCon last year.
Yeah.
I remember watching the whole thing and being like, are we supposed to know all this already? I feel like I know too far into the future. And then didn't Jeremy Fiesel do something like this a few months ago?
Yeah, I did that back in March.
Yeah. That was more of a cosmetic sort of,
I don't know,
art.
Yeah, so he did a thing. There was, we heard about this at BlizzCon first thing, and we actually knew most of this stuff, and we've been learning more about the details as it's been data mined with Wowhead and Icy Veins and all those guys. So that's been kind of talked about ad nauseum.
Kind of, and I know that there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, Ian,
it gives us content, so I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah, specifically for podcasters, we're like, hey,
we have something to talk about this week. Let's do it. Actually, that's been one of the great things about the last couple of expansions. Really, is that we've never run out of a damn thing to talk about, which is great.
That's right.
Love it. I love
Ooh.
it. Yes. But now we know a little bit more about timing, though, because now, so June 25th, that's next week, is when Rise of Azshara starts. That's when 8.2 lands. It is also the end of season 2. So finish up all your stuff, y'all.
Hurry up.
However, all of the raid stuff is going to continue until the new raid starts. So if you're still looking for AOTC or Cutting Edge or whatever, it's still there.
I think that was a very classy move by Blizz.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense, right?
It does.
Because you don't have to worry about that until the next raid. But all the other stuff, the reason that they're ending the season on the patch instead of a couple weeks later is that, number one, there are balance patches, and number two, there's the catch-up gear and the different gear that you can get, really. So
yeah, and
the new essence thing, I think, is a big thing.
Essence.
Yeah, essence. I should just do a sounder that just says essence. I did one for what? You want that?
Please do that.
You want that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
All right. I will see what I can do about that. But sorry, I was looking at my sounders. I was like, I know that I have a sounder here that's something similar.
What is it? Is it like what other kind of weird currency have we had in the past?
Oh my God, so much. I mean, this time around we have benthic gear, and I'm like going, how's anybody ever going to remember benthic gear?
I'm not.
The only thing that we came up with a couple weeks ago was benthic with two C's. You know,
so thick and juicy and full of essence. Oh yeah.
Right. And so it was. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyway,
we're grasping at straws here, Patrick.
The reason that season 3 kicks off, then we have the raid stuff 2 weeks later, so that's going to be July 9th. So after the July 4th holiday here in the States. And so that'll be really cool. We bump our new gear up to 450 from 425. So that will be awesome as well.
Yeah.
And the Mythic Keystone season will start right away. And this is with the beguiling thing.
Beguiling. Let's visit that for a second. So this is a new affix.
Were you guys talking about this in Australia?
Yes.
So
you're gonna have to deal with Asharian.
I don't know.
Asharan emissaries.
Yeah.
One has a 200% reflect damage aura. Another that forces you to line of sight every 8 seconds, and a third type that makes all nearby mobs immune to all crowd control and kicks. Oof. So basically, oh my God.
Right. It's basically, if you see an emissary, you're going to want to kill that emissary right away.
Yes. Like immediately. It's just like, this is the most important thing, probably. But I don't know. Well, I don't know, man.
And aren't some of them hidden as well? Aren't some of them in stealth and then they just pop up? So it's not like you can skip trash necessarily. You might be able to, but you might not, right?
Honestly, it's like they make these affixes like they're trying to make things more difficult for us.
What? How dare they try? I mean, we're already doing a Mythic Plus.
Right?
I mean, it's not just Mythic, it's Mythic Plus. Ooh. I mean, it's already should be difficult.
Like how is this like, that just seems like it would make all of it harder. I don't get it. I don't understand. Literally.
I know. It's going to be crazy. So these emissaries have a lot of health and they are difficult to kill, and then plus they're making things happen.
Yes. I hate when stuff makes stuff happen.
I know, and it's gonna be very challenging, I think, for a lot of groups. I think more challenging than reaping has been. So
reaping sounded a lot worse than it actually is.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yes.
So maybe this is like that, but I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see it in practice, or in actual when it actually goes live. We'll have to check it out and make sure what's going on with it.
Can't wait.
Whew, it'll be fun. It'll be something new, whatever. Then talking about the calendar again, July 9th is when the raid releases, so July 15th. I can do math, right? 15th? Yeah.
You think I can do math better than you?
I don't know. 16th. Sorry. 16th.
Hey, good job.
I wrote it down even. I wrote it down, and I didn't even see it. That's when Mythic and Raid Finder Part 1 start for the raid. So middle of July is when Azshara's Palace goes live, and then you have a good 6 weeks or whatever until Classic launches. Perfect timing. Man. It's perfect timing.
It's like they did it on purpose.
Right. And I think they did because, once again, Ian is the game director for both Classic and for BFA.
He is very good with scheduling.
He is just the World of Warcraft guy now. All of it.
He's Mr. Blizzard.
Well, he's Mr. Warcraft.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I know.
I mean, maybe he's Mr. Blizzard Jr., but so he's only
so
Mr. Warcraft.
Was like Jab's son.
so there's.
Wouldn't it be funny if like all of a sudden like there's this huge scandal? It's like, wait, Ian Hazzikostas is actually Jab's son. He's like baby Jab Jr.
Baby Jab. Yeah, he's Jab Jr. That would be
Jab Jr.
Oh, Jab Jr. He's so That's emphatic cute. With his hands when he talks, though.
Sounds like you're jealous. Jeez, calm down.
Well, you know, I wouldn't mind his gig.
I meant of his graceful hand movements, but whatever.
I'm also doing that, but I have learned how to hide my hands from the camera. So.
Oh, I know.
So, you know, I don't have to use my hands all the time. But
stop showing people those.
But I could have them be off camera.
What?
I can have them be off camera and be fine. So there. I'm just gonna let her have this moment, and then we'll get back to it.
You have to keep going.
Well, you know, whatever.
God.
Who cares? So Ian was talking about a couple of different things during this video as well. He kind of mentioned the whole patch 8.2 thing and did his like spiel on what was going to be happening and the timing of everything for like 9.5 minutes, and then he goes away. And then he comes back, and he's from a very short.
I love when he comes back.
From a very short fade out, he comes right back, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and we've got more to talk about. So you talked about gear rewards, class design a little bit, and kind of the thinking behind all of these different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool. I mean, you know, how the team tries to strike a balance with gearing and with class design and trying to make it so that. Everybody can play, but not everybody can play at the best levels with the same ease. Right. You know,
I think for personally, that's the kind of updates. Those are the kinds of updates that I like the most. Just, I love the thought process behind things and how the team like decides like what is like, you know, most important right now. And what isn't and why. And like, I feel like to me, if they gave us a little more transparency in that regard, just, you know, not telling us, you know, how they do things or necessarily why, just the idea behind some things and why they do things and why things take precedent and things like that. I find that really interesting because, you know, I'm always very, trusting of Blizzard.
Sure.
And I never question it. And I think maybe, you know, hearing the thought processes behind why the team does what the team does is comforting. And it's interesting to me. So I enjoy that the most.
Right. And so for the gear rewards thing, what he was talking about is, you know, PvP and keystones, they have to be kind of ever kind of shifting because people want the next best gear, the next best loot, all that kind of stuff. So you want to keep those things interesting and meaningful and challenging for players. And then, but you have also other things like world bosses and world quests and stuff like that are kind of more static and more just kind of like, hey, maybe for 8.2 you don't have to go into the regular part of BFA and go kill world bosses anymore, because guess what? You don't need that gear. Yeah. And plus, that's not where the story is. That's not where we're going to be anyway. Exactly. We're going to be in Nazjatar and Mechagon area, and so you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they made that distinction, because I never really thought about that. Like I really don't need world bosses after a while, and then it just becomes something that's there that I feel like I should do, but when I really think about it, I don't need it that badly. And if PvP and Mythic Keystones became like that, that would be hugely detrimental, because that's why PvP and Keystones exist in the first place, right?
Right. And like for the world quests, I guess and I think this is for, I'm not sure, but I believe that for Nazjatar and for Mechagon, the world quests that are there are actually going to be rewarding more Azurite as well.
Yes.
And
I think I heard that.
And I think that's because they just want to make sure that people are getting their levels done, because I'm sure that they understand that people like both of us, but mostly me, I'm lazy and I don't want to do the island stuff. The island stuff is just ugh.
I will take you through those islands, Pat.
No, it's not that I can't do them. It's just I don't like them. I just don't like them.
Yeah, but if you were with me, you would have fun, right?
Then I would just be talking to you. Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be totally fine. Oh, sure. Yeah.
You and me on an island adventure.
Just doing that stuff solo, or not solo, but you know what I mean. Queuing up for it or whatever.
Playing the steel jumps on the beach.
What was that?
What?
What were you talking about?
I don't know. What were you talking about?
I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see what else. And then Ian was also talking about gear asymmetry. Asymmetrical gear as it deals with PvP. Probably because so many people were kind of angry about the Crucible of Storms gear when it comes to PvP.
Yes.
So I guess it stalled out a lot of matches because there are some funky effects that gear has, and kind of made some PvP folks unhappy.
PV people.
That's right. They're PV people too.
Yes.
And of course you have to do.
You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. Who's down with PvP?
That's right. So for those guys that were like, oh, why is Crucible of Storms gear allowed? And it shouldn't be. It's just that's just for raiders and stuff like that. Ian said, suck it. I mean, essentially, right?
Listen, as the game director of 2 games,
right?
Sometimes you just have to simply say, suck it, you know, because literally there's nothing else that you can do. Like, from your, very lofty position as the game director, better, in
as
some
Mr.
cases.
Warcraft.
As Mr. Warcraft, Mr. Blizzard.
Yeah.
He knows best. He knows best. And a lot of people think that, they know best, but they are not the game directors. So therefore, they must suck it.
Yes. He said, I think what he said was it doesn't throw up any red flags. He didn't actually say suck it.
No, of course not.
But I mean, he did it he's a lawyer. He doesn't just say suck it, right? I mean, he's got to do a kind of an elaborate type of deal.
Although he would if you were just talking to him IRL.
Sure.
He's very cavalier IRL.
Well, and he would probably say that to me. He would just say,
yes. Oh yeah.
Tough. Go get the stuff. Then
he's actually told me behind your back that you can suck it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I agreed with him, honestly.
That does not surprise me. So he's like, in the video, he said, you know what? If you're feeling a little pressure to go out and get more gear, we're okay with that. Especially if it's weird gear or, stuff that is different. You can get most of your stuff. You can get most everything just by doing the thing that you're doing. That's fine. But if you want to go out and get specialized gear, go out and do that specialized thing and go get that gear. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
So that's what he said.
Just go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
No.
AKA,
Ian's actually very nice, despite what we say.
Yes.
None of what we say is true.
Well, we say true things, but we also make up some stuff.
Yes. True lies.
Every
like
once
that
in a while.
movie.
Every once in a while. And then he also talked about class design. And he said, pruning may have gone a little too far, to which people said, you think?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying having some stuff back. It's very nice.
So it'll be we'll see where it goes from here. But they're like, you know what? We thought it would be great to have specialization flavor, like serious. And if you
delicious flavor.
If you play a hunter, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you have to like really pick out what spells are going on anymore, because I don't know. We used to have so many spells, and all the loot used to be just for us, but not anymore.
Remember Volley?
Yeah, I miss Volley.
Remember Volley? It was the greatest spell of all.
Man, I remember Volley in ICC, and I was just going crazy. Right in the entryway. Right in the entryway, just dropping Volley all over the place.
Oof.
Good times. Good times.
It was good times. Good times.
So instead of spec related spells, it looks like they are probably going to be moving back to class related spells. And what were they talking about? Oh, they were talking about alter time as one thing for mages, right?
Alter time. Now there's something I haven't thought about in a while.
And you probably didn't even think about it when it was there too much.
I did.
You used it a lot?
I used it a lot because I made a lot of mistakes. Like falling off Thunder Bluff again and again and again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And also, Warrior Stance Dancing was another thing that he was talking about. He's like, now that we have Classic back in our lives, we think about Warrior Stance Dancing a little bit, and we want to. I mean, we're not necessarily going to go back there, but we want to try to figure out what that balance is, right? Between simple kind of flavor spells for a class, and then what is kind of more like, does this really work or not?
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool. And
I'm looking forward to that.
And I am too. I think that it would be good to have some class-wide spells back in the book, and it would be stuff that was taken away that's coming back, and also some new stuff as well. So
I've always felt like there weren't enough class spells, like in your little book. You open your book, you're a new mage, you're fresh off the trolley. You're like, all right, time to look at my book of mage spells.
There's a trolley for mages?
Nobody knows that. Don't say anything.
I didn't know
Patrick.
that.
Don't let anybody know.
Oh.
Get off the trolley, you open your little notebook, and you've got like no spells. And you're like, I was studying arcane magic for like 12 years, and I'm finally here. I'm ready to start my adventure, and I only have a couple of spells as a mage.
Well, I mean, I don't know when these spells will be released. Probably within the leveling process, but I mean, the nice thing is you'll maybe get some more, and
more spells is always good.
And they'll be class wide, so that'll mean that there will be more chance to use them. So that'll be good. Because it's like and I always kind of go back to hunters, because the way that it broke apart was pretty dramatic, because you had beast mastery. And then marksmanship, and then survival, and they were all at a distance. Survival was all about traps. Marksmanship was all about kind of soloing it without your pet, and then beast mastery was all about the pets and all that kind of stuff. And then they said, "Oh no, we're going to kind of do that, but we're going to take survival, and we're going to make that. Oh, now you're melee." And everybody's like, "What?" And I think I was like, "What?" I mean, and it sounds interesting, but I don't mess with my stuff.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me, Blizzard.
It's like hunters need bows, in my opinion. That's it. That's it.
Or pole arms.
Apparently. Apparently, or pole arms. So it'd be nice to see some class flavor come back and kind of hopefully merge some of those different ideas together in different ways and stuff. So
I'm down for it.
Yeah, right. And then there was this story a couple days ago, whenever it was, about the twink leveling nerf.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that this is kind of old news at this point. And it's been kind of a little bit debunked or whatnot. Because
like an urban legend.
Well, I mean, people did this at the beginning of the expansion. They would just gear up an alt at 110. They'd just make this level 110 twink, and then they get all of the gear from both BFA and from Legion. So they get all their legendaries, like all 3 legendaries, and then they get their Heart of Azeroth, and they'd level it up as much as they could, and so then they were just super powerful, right? And then they'd go to Freehold or to one of the islands or whatever, and they would help level up their guildmates or make money off of it or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
And just level people up, make gold, have fun, whatever. And now, Mr. Warcraft, for lack of a better term, he just said no. He's like, no, you're done.
Yeah,
no. You're done now. I mean, we're up to patch 8.2. You don't need to do this anymore. Just
exactly.
Because I think most of it can be,
bro.
Well, plus, I mean, most of it can be soloed by somebody at level 120 now.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you don't need to worry about it.
Soloed enough.
Yeah. And of course, the forums went nuts. You'd think that they were paid, but they're not.
It's like their job.
Right. But it's not. It's their I heard, actually, since we talked about it last time, they do not get paid.
But we talked about it, like, on this show.
I know. But somebody
was
was watching the show and told me that they don't get paid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Word gets around fast.
It's weird.
It's like people are watching us right now or something.
Yeah. And, right. Wait, what? What's happening?
What? I don't know.
Okay. Anything else from current news that you want to talk about?
No, but can I just say that I'm feeling overwhelmed. I think it's because I'm not caught up right now in my own.
Well, yeah, you still have a little bit of jet lag, probably.
Oh yeah, I'm very confused. But this is one of the biggest patches in history, and they've been hyping this up since BlizzCon. They really didn't need to hype it up since BlizzCon. Like there was more than enough time to, kind of get all this information out.
Should I read from the card that I have now placed upon the video screen?
Absolutely. Do it as fast as you can.
We've got a couple of new zones. We've got a new raid coming up. We've got new dungeon, Operation Mechagon. Of course, that's the mega dungeon that's going to be mythic only, to start anyway. We have the Heart of Azeroth Essence system. We have new quests with Magni and the bunch, and a little bit more war campaign. We've got heritage armor for Gnome and Tauren. Yay!
Woo!
I can't wait for Gnome heritage armor.
You would.
I've already made my opinion about the Gnome heritage armor.
I know.
I'm not really a fan, but the Tauren heritage armor is great. I love that stuff. I love that one.
It looks freaking cool.
Looks so cool. I don't have a picture of it though, unfortunately. New heroic warfront, new arena, epic battleground. Flying is going to be unlocked as well. Season 3 has a bunch of different stuff coming with it. That's about it.
Yeah, but that's a
lot of mounts.
So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very excited, and I think that we've heard so much about this patch because just because it is so big, but also it seems like the WoW team is very excited about this one in particular.
Right.
And it's obvious that what?
Right. CERN the Hunter reminded me that you will also be able to tame Undasta and Horadon.
Yes.
Wow.
Finally get revenge on them for causing me so much grief in Mist.
Especially Horadon. And actually, both of them can go wherever.
Yeah, no. Hordon, though. I mean, honestly, though,
Undasta killed the server for crying out loud.
That is true. Yeah. But Hordon, that fight, it was so hard that it was also fun. You know what I mean? It's just like this fight seems impossible, but it's still fun. And I find that, there's a huge distinction between boss fights that are way too hard that it becoms annoying, right, and ones that are way too hard, but they're really, it's a fun challenge,
I just remember that the Hordon fight was near impossible if you didn't have a Mistweaver monk, because you needed to dispel all those poisons off on that. I think it was the second part. And if you didn't have a Mistweaver, you couldn't dispel everybody at the same time, and then everybody would be dropping mana like crazy.
Yes.
So then the healers wouldn't have anything until the end, and that was not fun as a healer.
No.
Nope, it wasn't.
Well, that was my time to shine as a mage with my remove curse.
Right.
I hardly ever get to use that.
Yeah, I know. It was like we had to employ mages. We had to give them money every time. It was weird. So
$15, little man.
$15 to help out with the healing responsibility, for crying out loud. So yeah, I just remember that was just a horrible fight.
It was good.
I mean, it was okay, but it was like, oof, be prepared, guys.
Yeah. But now we can go tame him, teach him a lesson.
Well, yes.
Something.
Yes, indeed. Indeed we can. All right, let's talk a little bit about classic WoW.
Let the suffering commence.
Yes. So, if you guys want to suffer,
I mean, accurate.
This is going to be very accurate. And you're in NA or Oceanic realms, you're in luck, because you will be able to suffer with everybody else who wants to join in on the beta stress test coming up starting tomorrow. So starting on Wednesday, all people that have a sub already are invited to the classic testing stress test for NA and Oceanic realms from tomorrow through Friday, right?
Ooh, yes. And this is so exciting for people who really, really wanted to play beta.
But will not be able to play beta because everybody will be wanting to play beta. So this is all part of the stress test. So just understand that you will need to bring a crash helmet.
Yes.
And diapers. Sure. And probably diapers.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, just keep in mind that it's not going to be optimal playing,
No.
It's stress test for a reason.
Right. And it's going to be kicking off at 2:00 Pacific tomorrow, and Wednesday, that is. And they really want people to concentrate on the first 3 hours of the stress test. They really want as many people to load in as possible so that they can try to recreate the same issues that they will probably face on launch.
Yes.
Which will be intense.
Yes, very intense, very stressful.
But during that time, you'll be able to, the max level will be 15. And in that time, you'll be able to run not just all the questing content, but you'll also be able to do Warsong Gulch, Ragefire Chasm, Wailing Caverns, and Dead Mines if you really feel like a challenge. So.
Oh, God. It's a challenge getting through.
Getting to Dead Mines.
Yes.
For horde characters, that's a real challenge. Oof. So, especially on a PvP server.
Yeah.
Imagine what that's going to be like.
Oh, I'm getting all itchy thinking about it.
Is it from all the hay that's over there?
Just there's just so much hay in this dungeon.
Well, outside of it, there's Westfall.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And then you have to get into the dungeon, and then
then there's the getting in part.
That's one of those things that's going to be driving me nuts, is that we actually have to travel. Unless you have a warlock, I guess, but
that's the best part.
You can't guarantee that. What, just running?
Yeah.
Running. All the running. Ugh.
I think the one thing that WoW nowadays lacks is a lot of running.
That is true. There is not as much as one might think in current WoW, even in the original content, in the Cataclysm leveling zones, I guess. Mm-hmm. Not nearly enough running.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when you can play Classic, and you can just press your little auto run button. For me, it's page up. I don't know what it is for you.
I think it is that.
So I hit page up, and then I walk away, and I make a sandwich, and then I come back and I eat the sandwich, and then grab a drink, come back, and let the dogs out and stuff, and then I come back and.
Very unrealistic, Pat, because as soon as you turn your head, you walk into a wall.
No, I just, I point myself down the gold road, and I'm like, yep, that's about right. That's, right. Looking way off in the distance and trying to line it up with the cliffs on both sides.
Right.
As you're looking south, and then you'll almost beat a razorfen crawl by the time that you get back from letting the dogs out. And making a sandwich and stuff.
Man,
doing the laundry. Road. You can get a lot of stuff done playing Classic, just not a lot of Classic.
That's true. So. I remember the first time I saw a Thunder Lizard.
Oh boy. What?
I was thoroughly impressed.
Really?
Yes, because it had particle effects.
Ooh, yes.
And I was like, ooh, interesting.
Lightning. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the takeaway, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
That's it. That's my story.
All right. Cool. Any other advice for people that are looking at Classic?
If you're doing the stress test, just remember that they're doing it for a reason. And any constructive feedback and criticism and things that you notice will be helpful. It's a really cool opportunity to kind of give back to Blizz. It's a really cool opportunity to, in a way, be part of history, and in another way, be part of history repeating itself. If you really think about it, which is kind of meta, but it's a great way to give back to your fellow WoW player as well. Like you're helping out the WoW team, you're helping out your friends, and I don't know. It's cool to be involved. So if you can spare some time to get in there and sort of look at it like, a favor to Blizz, then definitely do that and try to be as specific as possible with your feedback, and that stuff really does count, and it really does help out, and it'll make you feel good probably.
Sure. That is if you can make it into the actual game. Be expecting long queue lines to get in, but that in itself is also like Classic, is it not? Yeah, totally is.
The whole experience.
It's the Classic experience. Also, when you arrive, as I learned from the first one, if you actually do make it into the server, expect lots of other characters that look exactly like you look, and you might not know where you are and where somebody else is running around doing stuff. You're like, I'm that person. I'm that one, right? No, you're not that one. You're the other one. You're the other gnome female with pink hair running around.
Yes.
Pigtails.
I feel that way IRL too. Just I don't know where I am or who I am.
You feel like you're everybody else?
Yeah, just like I don't know which one is me. Oh God.
Must be the jet lag.
Must be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Sure.
Anything else Classic-wise? I think that it's pretty quiet on the Classic front right now. I mean, we're kind of at a steady point for non-stress test stuff. We've seen Alterac Valley Battleground has been open and run for, hours and hours and hours, and people running around with their heads cut off, not knowing exactly what's going on. Yeah. It's a pretty Classic experience.
Absolutely. It's very Classic. Yeah. And my biggest takeaway from all of this is that, I'm seeing Classic WoW and WoW streamers on the top of like most watched charts for the past month and a bit, and they're doing consistently well with viewership and numbers and things like that. And I couldn't be happier to see it. You know,
I'm like, totally psyched to see that stuff. I love WoW making Twitch, you know, top ranks, no matter whether it's classic or the
exactly.
Or
it doesn't
BFA,
matter. It's,
you know,
same thing, same game, same team, and it's better than I ever anticipated, and I'm so glad that this is working out so far. And
the nice part is that I'm actually surprised that I dig it as much as I am digging it, which is kind of cool. And I think that I'm kind of interested to see how everybody reacts tomorrow. That I know that's in NA, just how they react to jumping on the servers and playing for the next couple of days, because I mean, once the first few hours kind of wear off, I'm guessing that you know, half the people will have given up on ever making it into the server, and the other half will play, and they'll play to 15 and see what's going on, and I'm interested to see what the reaction is like from my friends that I think are probably going to play Classic when it launches. So, and see what they think. So if you guys have any thoughts about Classic after you jump into the servers and make it in and make it past maybe the starting zone, let us know here at the show, converter8@gmail.com.
Yeah, we want to hear about your experiences.
Yeah, or in our Discord or whatever. Just talk to us. We're cool for the most part. We're cool for the most part.
No? All
right.
No.
Well, in that case, let's move on to a quick little thing about Overwatch.
You won't get rid of me that easily.
Nope. So we have a new video from Jeff Kaplan. And we
Papa JFE.
Oh, yeah, with Papa JFE. And then we also have the Baptiste Reunion Challenge, which is pretty easy.
Yes.
We have a new short story.
It's a long short story, which is very nice.
It's a Lort. It's a Lort short story. It's a long.
Yes, very Lort.
Yeah, it's very, very Lort. It's not that long. I mean, it doesn't take that long that long to read it, but it is there. It's available to you. And I will give nothing away. 0.
Oh no, it just came out like
today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not even going to tell you a premise.
It's good,
just
though.
read it. Just read it. It's fine. It's all good. And so in that was some development stuff that's coming up in that video from Papa Jeff. And he was talking about one of the things that's coming up in a future patch is going to be replays.
I have been looking forward to this for so long.
Well, and they've been talking about it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about it at BlizzCon because they want to do this for the Overwatch League.
Yes. Which will be very helpful, very like super in-depth analysis for everything. But so basically you'll be able to watch your most recent matches from like 3 different angles, I think. And you can stop and start and like look around and see what went wrong or what went right, and just sort of learn. And I think this is an excellent tool to improve your own gameplay. Like you don't have to kind of guess what went wrong or because sometimes, you know, stuff goes wrong from your own perspective and there's no way for you to know exactly what happened. But with this, I think you might be able to see like from your opponent's perspective or like a top down kind of view. And, you know, you can identify mistakes that you make on certain characters over and over again and, you know, fix them. And I feel like once we have access to more angles of Overwatch, I think everybody's going to start thinking about the game and the environment a little bit differently as well. And I think that it's going to, you know, give us the opportunity to become better players. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting better. And I'm slowly becoming a hamster main. And I feel like knowing all of the angles is probably very important for that character in particular. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's all about angles, that character. And the other thing was that it will also be available for Overwatch League. these replays.
Yes.
Which will be insane. So you'll be able to actually go and check out some of the Overwatch League matches and be able to kind of tear that apart a little bit piece by piece and try to glean something from these matches that'll be available online. And so that's pretty cool. And there are some other changes coming too, like on assault mode, they're gonna kind of shorten up the bonus time that you get after capturing a point.
I think that's a good idea.
And so that'll be nice and a little bit faster for folks. So then you're not sitting on point B forever. And some balance changes and whatever, and normal stuff.
Yeah.
Normal stuff.
They're making Diva's defense matrix shorter, which I'm not happy about, but whatever.
It needed to happen.
No, it didn't.
No, it totally did.
No.
It totally did. Now that I'm not playing Diva as much, I'm seeing what the problem is with Diva.
It wasn't a problem. It was a solution.
I suppose it was. Anything else Overwatchy that you wanted to chat about?
Just this is a cool little event. It's like the Bastet event. It's like the Nanocola event.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, you win 9 games in a row. You get some stuff. They've got their featured Overwatch streamers streaming night and day. You watch them. You get sprays and whatnot. So if that appeals to you, definitely do it. It's easy to do.
Yep.
And I would recommend, because it's always fun to get free things.
Well, yeah, and it's a legendary Baptiste skin, so it's cool, and it's a medic thing. And it looks pretty. It's a medic suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like
a space suit.
toothpaste. Oh,
sure.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the cross on it. It's got a little cap.
It's got toothpaste. And then he screws it off, and I don't know.
Yep.
All right.
And then he applies the fluoride.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it. Real quick, let's talk about eSports that's coming up. And I don't know how much you've watched. You just got back, so you probably haven't seen
nothing. I haven't seen anything.
It was just understandable, other than MDI, which was great. Again,
yes,
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Amazing.
It was a lot of fun for me seeing the games, number one, and then number two, also seeing the cast, including yourself.
Hey, I don't mind being number two.
No, it wasn't really in order. It was just kind of...
Quit backpedaling.
No, it's fine. So this weekend, what we have Overwatch League continues with week 3, stage 3 this weekend. Mm-hmm. I was really kind of miffed last weekend, though.
Why?
Because San Francisco lost to Houston.
I like Houston.
Mad. I like Houston. Don't get me wrong. I like them, but I live closer to San Francisco, so.
Oh, come on. The Outlaws needed something. Okay,
they did need something.
They needed something. Throw them a bone, Patrick.
I don't think they're going to get it much else. Yes, this is fine, and I think that San Francisco will be fine as well, because I took a look at who they're playing this weekend, and I think they'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
they'll be okay.
Yeah,
I mean they're not playing the Titans or anything like that, so I think they'll be okay. Let's see. Hearthstone Grandmasters returns season 1, week 6. So they're on week 6 of the Hearthstone Grandmasters. They had the Masters tournament last weekend, which was...
That was on in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it was in Vegas, and Dog won. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I love to see a dog win.
Sure. I didn't realize that it was a Westminster sponsored event.
Right? And it's weird how something with no thumbs can win a card game.
Do claws kind of count? All right.
I mean, yeah.
Kinda, maybe.
Kind of a little bit.
So now we're back to the Grandmasters, season 1, week 6. We also have StarCraft, GSL. Grand Final is going to be on Saturday, if you really want to be up early for it. So GSL Code S season 2 Grand Final is Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Pacific. So I guess you could stay up late for it.
Of course you could.
On the West Coast. I don't know.
Nobody's stopping you.
Ugh. Horrible timing. It's kind of like the MDI. I was like, this is horrible timing. Also, for StarCraft WCS Challenger Season 2 playoffs. And it's going to be all the different regions kind of in order going through the weekend. So Saturday we start in Asia, and then we move westward as the weekend goes on.
Right.
So that's pretty cool as well. And AWC, for those guys who really like WoW Arena.
Who doesn't?
Right. And it's back week 2 for NA and EU. Also, KR Cup number 3.
Yes.
All of that stuff is this weekend. And once again, and I don't know if you know this, but actually I'm pretty sure you're aware. But Rich Campbell is not with the AWC for season 2.
Right.
And instead it's healing stat. I always forget one of the things when we were talking about this last week, I always forget how good of like an anchor healing stat is.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just the accent or what.
He just never gets overcome with anything. He's very in control. He's incredibly smart. He's so intelligent. And one time I played mini basketball with him in a bar in Brooklyn, and it was very nice.
Huh.
It was a good time. He's really nice.
Did he win, or did you kick his butt?
Neither of us won. It was awful, but it was very nice.
Nobody won. It was just the two of us playing. Nobody won.
Nobody won. No, we had no aim at all.
Right.
But yeah. So I don't know anything about the Rich situation. Neither did he.
Yeah. He doesn't.
I can't speak to it, but he uploaded a video asking people not to harass his fellow casters, which I thought was really classy because they are really good friends.
Yeah.
And healing stat, I'm sure had nothing to do with anything.
No.
And I know that he and Rich are friends too. And, I'm glad to see, I was under the impression that healing stat wasn't going to be involved with any, WoW eSports for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
But here he is, and I'm very glad to see him back. I like both him and Rich. If it was up to me, they would all be featured somehow.
Sure.
But so yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to any of it. But.
Yeah, and you never know what the future holds or anything like that. It's just
exactly.
The only thing that I wanted to bring up was that I thought that he did a great job at the desk this last weekend, and I always kind of forget how poised and I guess how strong he is as a lead on that team. So
yep.
He was sounding, looking great, and just very in control and very, very able to get the information to the viewers on what was happening in these games. So
yeah,
very fun.
Both very qualified.
Yes, and so now we have week 2 coming up, and remember, it's not just about who wins, although that is important as well, who wins the different regions, but also points. So
yes,
it's both. It's both.
Very important.
That is true. That is true. So what is when is the MDI kickoff again? That's not for a bit, right? That's not for a bit. August or something like that.
Yeah. Not till summer, which was interesting. So I thought it was already summer, but we just had the spring finals a week ago or so.
It's not quite summer yet. It's not officially summer yet. It's still spring for another, I think, 3 or 4 days.
Yes, and in Sydney it was winter. So, and I have jet lag across 3 time zones. So, ipso facto, Patrick, I have no idea.
All right.
But I'm very excited for it to start up again.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to play this music because I think we're done. And welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
It's very important that you're here. It's
important.
It's very nice that you're here. It's very important that you're here. I like having you here.
Really?
Yes. And over the last month of you not being on the show, you were missed.
Patrick.
Well, not by me. I was fine. Because we were talking kind of, in Discord and whatever, throughout the process. I missed you on the show. but just not. Anyway, never mind.
Why you gotta be like that?
You look so sad. You look so sad. No, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Don't worry about it. All right. So, what is going on with you, and how can people find you, I guess?
Oh, let's see. So everything's, slowly coming back. LB is coming back, probably this weekend. Hopefully, no promises yet. We will be streaming on Friday, as far as I know. At least I will. We're just trying to get back into the swing of things. I have a lot of content to catch up on. But if you're interested in all that, you can find me on Twitter at Thyst03, and you can find everything else at laggingballs.com.
There you go. And for me, if you want to make sure to read my little article over at bit.ly/Paragon leveling. If you're interested, of course. If you're not interested, don't read it. It's fine. It's fine. It'll just live over there.
There are nice pictures to look at, though.
There are some interesting pictures. You can see my character Doug. He's over there, and he's a monk with bear paws for hands.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a good transmog. I like it. Anyway, you can follow me over at Pat Krane on Twitter or basically any social media, and that's Krane with a K. Okay, I'm gonna bail on that, and then
including Snapchat.
Sure. And I'll play this. And for the show, you can always follow us at Convert to Raid on the Twitter. That's really the place to do that. For the podcast, you can find us anywhere you find podcasts. And of course, you can always jump over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have all the things. We have audios, we have videos, we have the Convert to Raid podcast network, featuring shows from like Lagging Balls. That's one of them.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great show, and it's all over at converttoraid.com. You don't have to go over to laggingballs.com, but you can. You should.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to.
You probably should.
Nobody's
should. Probably should at some point.
It's fine. There's nothing there.
But if you don't go there, go over to converttoraid.com. That's where it's at. And that's gonna be it for the show. Thyst, welcome back.
Thank you.
Again. Twitch chat, thank you guys so much for keeping it weird, as always. And thank you guys at home, in the car. You're taking us with you, and we are digging that. Why? I don't know. It's fun.
What?
It's fun. It's fun just hanging out with the folks and knowing that you're listening to us at work.
Yes.
And the boss is like, what are you doing? Why are you smiling so much? Stop it.
Is it presumptuous of you to assume that they're smiling?
Well, yes.
What if they're crying because the show's over?
No, they could be crying. I don't want to make you guys cry.
I'm always crying on the inside.
But at the same time, we gotta go. But thank you guys for taking us with you, as always. And until next time, we'll see you later. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.